Serengeti National Park, in northern Tanzania, is known for its massive annual migration of wildebeest and zebra. Seeking new pasture, the herds move north from their breeding grounds in the grassy southern plains. Many cross the marshy western corridor's crocodile-infested Grimati River. Others veer northeast to the Lobo Hills, home to black eagles. Black rhinos inhabit the granite outcrops of the Moriokops. Chances are that you have dreamt of Africa, and when you did, you probably dreamt about the Serengeti. Countless wildlife movies have been recorded in the Serengeti, and with good reason. This is the home of the Great Migration and may very well be one of the last true natural wonders on planet Earth. Serengeti National Park is a World Heritage Site teeming with wildlife, over 2 million ungulates, 4,000 lions, 1,000 leopard, 550 cheetahs and some 500 bird species inhabit an area close to 15,000 square kilometers in size. Join us on a safari and explore the endless Serengeti plains dotted with trees and copses from which majestic lions control their kingdom. Gaze upon the Great Migration in awe or find an elusive leopard in a riverine forest. Or perhaps see everything from a bird's eye view and soar over the plains at sunrise during a hot air balloon safari. Accommodation options come in every price range. The sound of lions roaring at night is complimentary. Serengeti National Park and Wildlife Refuge on the Serengeti Plain in north-central Tanzania. It is partly adjacent to the Kenya border and is northwest of the adjoining Ngorongoro Conservation Area. It is best known for its huge herds of plains animals, especially gnu, wildebeests, gazelles, and zebras, and it is the only place in Africa where vast land animal migrations still take place. The park, an international tourist attraction, was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1981. The park was established in 1951 and covers 5,700 square miles, 14,763 square kilometers, of some of the best grassland range in Africa, as well as extensive acacia woodland savanna. With elevations ranging from 3,020 to 6,070 feet, 920 to 1,850 meters, the park extends 100 miles, 160 kilometers, southeast from points near the shores of Lake Victoria and, in its eastern portion, 100 miles, 160 kilometers, south from the Kenya-Tanzania border. It is along the western corridor to Lake Victoria that many of the park's animals migrate. Within the area are nearly 1,300,000 gnu, 60,000 zebras, 150,000 gazelles, and numerous other animals. During the wet season, from November to May, the herds graze in the southeastern plains within the park. In late May or June, one major group moves west into the park's woodland savanna and then north into the grasslands just beyond the Kenya-Tanzania border, an area known as the Masai Mara National Reserve. Another group migrates directly northward. The herds return to the park's southeastern plains in November, at the end of the dry season. In addition to more than 35 species of plains animals, there are some 3,000 lions and great numbers of spotted hyenas, leopards, rhinoceroses, hippopotamuses, giraffes, cheetahs, and baboons. Crocodiles inhabit the marshes near the Mara River. More than 350 species of birds, including ostriches, vultures, and flamingos, have also been recorded. Elephants, which were not found in the Serengeti 30 years ago, moved into the park as human populations and agricultural developments increased outside its borders. The local elephant population is estimated at some 1,360. The last of the Serengeti's wild dogs disappeared in 1991, but there are some 30,000 domestic dogs in the area. It is possible that unvaccinated domestic dogs spread rabies to the wild dogs, resulting in their local extinction. An epidemic of canine distemper caused the deaths of nearly one-third of the area's lions in 1994. The killing of elephants for their ivory tusks, the slaughter of the now virtually extinct black rhinoceros for its horn, and the poaching of game animals for meat, an estimated 200,000 a year, are major threats. The first systematic wildlife population survey in the area was undertaken by the German zoologist Bernhard Grzimek in the late 1950s. The park's headquarters are near its center, at Serengeti where the Serengeti Wildlife Research Center, established as the Serengeti Research Institute, 1962, is also based. The vast plains of the Serengeti comprise 1.5 million ha of savanna. The annual migration to permanent waterholes of vast herds of herbivores, wildebeest, gazelles and zebras, followed by their predators, is one of the most impressive natural events in the world. In the vast plains of Serengeti National Park, comprising 1.5 million hectares of savanna, the annual migration of 2 million wildebeests plus hundreds of thousands of gazelles and zebras, followed by their predators in their annual migration in search of pasture and water, is one of the most impressive nature spectacles in the world. The biological diversity of the park is very high, with at least 4 globally threatened or endangered animal species: black rhinoceros, elephant, wild dog, and cheetah. Criterion 7. The Serengeti Plains harbor the largest remaining unaltered animal migration in the world, where over 1 million wildebeest plus hundreds of thousands of other ungulates engage in a 1,000 kilometers long annual circular trek spanning the 2 adjacent countries of Kenya and Tanzania. This spectacular phenomenon takes place in a unique scenic setting of endless plains, 25,000 square kilometers of treeless expanses of spectacularly flat short grasslands dotted with rocky outcrops, copses, interspersed with rivers and woodlands. The park also hosts one of the largest and most diverse large predator-prey interactions worldwide, providing a particularly impressive aesthetic experience. Criterion X. The remarkable spatial temporal gradient in abiotic factors such as rainfall, temperature, topography, and geology, soils and drainage systems in Serengeti National Park manifests in a wide variety of aquatic and terrestrial habitats. The combination of volcanic soils combined with the ecological impact of the migration results in one of the most productive ecosystems on Earth, sustaining the largest number of ungulates and the highest concentration of large predators in the world. The ecosystem supports 2 million wildebeests, 900,000 Thomson's gazelles and 300,000 zebras as the dominant herds. Other herbivores include 7,000 elands, 27,000 topis, 18,000 hartebeests, 70,000 buffaloes, 4,000 giraffes, 15,000 warthogs, 3,000 waterbucks, 2,700 elephants, 500 hippopotamuses, 200 black rhinoceroses, 10 species of antelope and 10 species of primate. Major predators include 4,000 lions, 1,000 leopards, 225 cheetahs, 3,500 spotted hyenas and 300 wild dogs. Of these, the black rhinoceros bicornis, leopard pantheropardus, African elephant Loxodonta africana and Cheetahs jubatus are listed in the red list. There are over 500 species of birds that are perennially or seasonally present in the park, of which 5 species are endemic to Tanzania. The park has the highest ostrich population in Tanzania and probably Africa, making the population globally important. Integrity Serengeti National Park is at the heart of the larger Serengeti ecosystem, which is defined by the area covered by the annual migration. The property is contiguous with Ngorongoro Conservation Unit, an area of 528,000 hectares declared a World Heritage Site in 1979. The entire ecosystem also includes the Maswa Game Reserve, 2,200 square kilometers, in the south, Grimiti and Ikarongo Game Reserves in the east, Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya, 1,672 square kilometers, to the north, and Lilindo Game Controlled Area in the west. This entire ecosystem is intact and no barriers hamper the migration. Serengeti National Park is sufficiently large and intact to ensure the survival and vigor of all the species contained therein, if maintained in its present state, but does not, by itself, ensure the protection of the entire ecosystem. However, all other parts of the ecosystem do have a greater or lesser degree of protection. A potential threat is the plan to build a transport infrastructure through the Serengeti. This would essentially cut the ecosystem into 2 halves, with predictably negative consequences on the Serengeti. Adding Maswa Game Reserve and Masai Mara National Reserve to the World Heritage List, or giving them the status of a buffer zone, would further safeguard the outstanding universal values of this property. Another major potential threat to the integrity of the park is the scarcity of surface water for the animals during dry years, as only one river, Mara, flows perennially through the park. An extension of the park boundary to reach Lake Victoria, providing a corridor for animals to access water in times of drought, is planned for the future to address this issue. Protection and management requirements. The site has a well-designated and partially demarcated boundary, and since 2009 funds have been allocated to demarcate the entire boundary. Its management is regulated by both international and government policies and legal obligations. The National Parks Ordinance Cap 412 of 1959 provides for Tanzania national parks with the mandate to manage the site. In addition, the 1974 Tanzanian Wildlife Conservation Act and the 2009 Wildlife Conservation Act provide for both within the site and adjacent area protection of resources, respectively. A General Management Plan, 2006 to 2016, has been formulated to guide the daily management of the site in a sustainable manner and is currently being implemented. The plan provides guidance on how to execute the various activities within the park under four main themes: ecosystem management, outreach services, tourism management and park operations. The site has a reasonable level of human and financial resources for effective management, but as the activities expand and more challenges emerge, the lack of sufficient resources remains a potential future constraint. The major management concerns include poaching, tourism pressure, wildfires, and lack of adequate capacity in resource monitoring. Another important management challenge is water. Despite numerous sources of water during the rain season, there is only one perennial river, Mara, which is transnational. However, this river currently faces multiple human-mediated cross-boundary